You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Live from Malverne High School, it's time for AA3 soccer between Malverne East Rockaway and Clarke. Well, we appreciate you joining us on Varsity Media today. It is a beautiful fall afternoon, and it has all the makings of a great early season soccer matchup here in Nassau County. First, we'd like to thank our sponsors today for making this happen. First, AX Soccer, Footballers Media, and Lifestyle Sports. Without them, none of this is possible, and we appreciate their support towards these youth sports here and these great programs. And for us today, I am Kevin Bunk, joined by Brian Donahue. We are excited to be with you all afternoon on what is truly, Brian, I know I just said it, a gorgeous fall soccer evening here from Malverne East Rockaway.
It really is a beautiful day. You know, it's a little windy and a little cold up here in the booth, but I was just down on the field. It is picture-perfect weather for these boys out here.
What do you think we can expect from these two teams today? Both of them early in the season trying to learn some things, but what can those who are unaware of what these squads bring expect for this game?
So this is a tale of two different teams that are rebuilding their squads, right? They were both in the bottom of their conferences last year. They are both playing lights-out soccer right now. You're going to see a high-flying, high-intensity game right now with probably a lot of scoring from Malverne East Rockaway and Clarke.
Let's take a look at the Clarke key players. These are the guys that are going to impact the game most among many others today. And on the Clarke side of things, we start with Daniel Guevara and Leon Gojufi.
So I love Daniel Guevara. He is one of their biggest players. He is the playmaker. He's going to be looking to get the ball onto his left foot. He is the anchor of the team. I'll be talking about him a little bit more later on as we get going, but he's the guy in the middle of the field that they're going to be looking for. And Leon Gojufi, he's the guy who's going to be tucking in, doing a lot of that great defensive work.
And on the other side, Malverne East Rockaway has perfect guys to combat this. They're not too worried about it. Jaden Mora and Philip Beben lead the way. What do you see from these two?
I've been saying all along that these two are the most dynamic duo in the entire county. These guys can press high. They are quick. They are fast. They have great chemistry together. Look for a lot of explosiveness out of these two guys today.
It's not just those two guys, of course, for each squad. For Clarke, a full lineup of starters here that can impact the way this game goes today. What stands out the most when you look at these 11 guys for Clarke?
Well, starting out right now is Brian Adewajo, the goalie. He is a stud. He's been one of the best keepers in Nassau County over the past few years. Next, I'm looking at Kai Destine. He has a lot of speed up top. He's a 4'8", 40 guy. He has a lot of speed. And finally, I'm looking at Zevdet Dalipi. He's a second-year varsity player as a freshman. He's the anchor of the defense, and he does not play like a freshman.
Brian Arujo, let's dive deeper on the goaltender here. Absolutely the backbone for Clarke. He's one of the better goaltenders you'll find in Nassau County. As you see, the tender's warming up right now. The keeper's warming up. This is going to be the backup, but Arujo really provides a chance to win every time this team steps out there.
He absolutely does. You know, as coaches, we come out here, and the biggest question mark we have every season is our goalkeeper. And to have a stud like Brian out there who you know is going to be a rock for you in between those pipes, it takes a lot of worry off your table.
And the Clarke head coach, of course, is none other than Nick Espinoza. He leads the guys right now. It's his 4th season, trying to figure some things out with a really young team. What's the task at hand like for Coach today?
Well, right now, Coach is missing 3 starters. So right now, it's going to be next man up and to keep these guys in this game.
And on the other side for Malverne, we can look at their starters before we get underway. Just a few minutes till we start things up. For Malverne, this is a great group of guys led by Rob Anderson. He says one of the most talented this school has ever had.
Absolutely. I've been watching this team for quite a while. I grew up in the area. They are a great team. Again, like I said, high-powered offense, very fast. I want to look at somebody like Johnny Staubitz in that right back position today. Super solid defender. I'm also looking at someone like Philip Beeben. He's one of the best players in the county. And to see a matchup like him and Daniel Guevara today in the middle of the field, it's worth the price of admission.
For Malverne East Rockaway, it's going to be the secondary keeper here. It's not going to be Nick Cornell. Marcus Daly gets the nod in net. What do you think Marcus can bring to the table?
So backup keeper is the second most important position in any soccer team, right? So you have to be ready to step in right away. Nick Cornell picks up a knock in practice yesterday. He's not match fit today. So Marcus Daly has to go in, fill those shoes, and replicate who, let's be honest, one of the top 5 keepers in the county, Nick Cornell.
And you see here Rob Anderson, the head coach for Malverne East Rockaway. He has a lot of expectations for this season. He loves this group of guys. He loves the talent he has. And it's almost difficult for him to field all the guys he wants to put out there because you can only have 11. But for Rob Anderson, he does a great job. And this season has been no different.
Absolutely. And you know, talking to Coach Anderson and talking to the guys before the game, the impression that I got from them is they kept saying never again. They were an 0-15 team last year, and they kept saying never again, never again, never again. And that was the guiding philosophy in the offseason and in the beginning of preseason this year. And if you made a comment just a second ago, Bunk, look at the 2 benches. Malverne is a deep bench compared to Clarke. That's going to be a big factor in today's game.
Before we get started here, let's take a look at each coach's keys to the game. Brian, take it away.
For Clarke, it has to be controlling possession. You're going to see from Malverne right away, they're going to press high and they're going to press fast. If Clarke loses that ball, it's going to be game over for Clarke. They need to play together with that discipline. They need to communicate. For Malverne, one of the things they do is their backs have some free reign to push up the field. They have to be technical in the backfield. Clarke can punish them on the wings if they do that. Number 2, they have to make Brian Arujo uncomfortable. They do that with their high press. And number 3, get the ball to Jaden Moore. He is playing lights out right now.
Again, this has all the makings of a terrific matchup today. Really excited to see this Malverne team at home. What can they do? And I like the highlight on Jaden Mora there from Coach, not shying away from the fact that they have a special player here. They want to get the ball to him. The players on the team know they want to get the ball to him. And the best part about Mora this season, when I'm talking to Rob Anderson, is the maturity from last year to this year, how he's grown as a player, now understanding he is the guy here, but he can't do it without the help of the 10 around him.
Absolutely, and if you look at the leaderboards and stats for the county this season, he's right there at the top of the leaderboard, so he is stepping up for the Mules in a big way.
So we're just a few moments from getting underway here. You can see Jeremiah Arning in that center circle. For Malverne East Rockaway, they'll be in their home blues, orange trim, white numbers. They'll go left to right to start this game. And on the other side, moving right to left, it'll be the Clarke Rams in their road whites with their red numbering. And they're looking to pull off what would be an upset today, and they're acknowledging that. They are owning that going into today's game. Coach Espinoza, as you saw in the keys, spoke about the challenge at hand, playing on the road against this team with a young group that's a little bit undersized but can play fast, can play smart. He's hoping that his team rises to the occasion today. Yeah,
and we talk about these road games, right? And we always have to remember that these kids just went through a 9-period day, a 45-minute bus ride, and now they're going to go out here and play a high-intensity game.
So the first touch of the game will end up out deep in Clarke's own end. Heading over to field it for the Rams. They'll take it back in. And this is a big opening possession for Clarke to try and really set the tone here early.
And it looks like Clarke had a last-minute player change. Raul Torres came into the defense, and Adrian Ramirez had to go to the bench. It looks like he had an earring issue, so he's going to get on the field real quick if they can.
Torres, one of 3 freshmen who you will see out there today. The others, Sebastian Espinoza and also Jevdet Dalipi, who we highlighted pregame. Malverne with possession back now, and they lose it swiftly, but towards midfield, Malverne gets it back. So far, some back and forth here in the defensive end for Clarke, but now the Mules have a chance. Cross pass is going to end up wide and out beyond the goal.
And that's exactly what Malverne East Rockaway want to do. Get that ball sliding across goal, make Brian Arujo move across his line, but they need to connect, make that one extra move and have somebody hit that back post, and they're going to be just fine.
Good pressure from the Mules. They'll get the ball right back here. It'll be a throw-in, and taking the ball, we'll see Liam Whitehouse.
This is something that's somewhat unusual. Have your center back come up, take that throw. They're going to have to drop someone deep in coverage, and Malverne does real well of making those switches.
Header towards goal, easy grab. And the first of the day for Brian Arujo. He sends it towards the halfway line, and now across for Clarke, trying to make something happen for the Rams was Kai Destin. Here's a attempt towards goal, but definitely wide, not a high percentage chance for Leon Gojufi, excuse me.
And that's a shot you have to take. Just turn that body a little bit, get that ball on target, but that was a great possession there for Clarke to get that action going back the other way. And here comes Adrian Ramirez back onto the field.
So for Clarke, they get Ramirez back out there. They get themselves settled in to start it. Now Malverne looking to push something the other way. Scrum at midfield now. Chipped across the halfway line. Pair of headers, and the ball will end up out on the far side. Malverne East Rockaway will have it. The throw-in advanced and back out of play.
This is something that Coach Anderson talked to me about the other day that he wants to continue to do. Have these set pieces deep in this final third in the other team's half. Throw-ins, corners, anything can get those players moving and get the ball on their feet.
There's one towards goal, punched out by Arujo as he gets aggressive. Not wasting any time there, not second-guessing it. Now it's advanced, stopped. Malverne sends it back in, got through a couple of Clarke defenders, but to Arujo with no trouble. Good clear from Arujo. Malverne trying to settle it, but some good pressure from Kai Destin.
Kai Destin did a lot of good work down there. That's a big boy banging bodies down there. He throws that shoulder in there, getting those Malverne defenders off their feet. That was a nice win out of him.
And he runs downhill with a head of steam when he could see the ball. There's a roller towards Marcus Daly. He picks it up, and now he'll look to advance. It's just going to be a throw to his right. And taking that, Liam Whitehouse. Malverne looking to get some clean possession here. They have it, advance it, out of play.
And that's an area where I think Malverne East Rockaway might start to look to pick on. You know, Connor Lane, number 3 for Clarke, he has a tendency to drift high and push a little too high up the field, which is going to cause the rest of the defensive line to shift. If Malverne East Rockaway can now start to attack that side of the field, it might open up some more attacking possibilities for them.
And we'll get our first whistle as going down for the Mules was Joseph Arning. one of the cooler storylines in this game that we'll just keep coming back to. Jeremiah and Joseph Arning share the field. They share a brain, basically, out there, as Rob Anderson would put it. Arning put it towards the box, but sent right back out by Clarke. Now towards the far side. Good fight on the sideline, but Malverne will take that one. Towards goal, easy scoop. And Brian Arujo will clear it out again. Good pair of headers, advances it for Malverne East Rockaway, but Arning drew some contact and see the whistle there. That was Sebastian Espinoza getting a bit ambitious defensively. Excuse me, Daniel Guevara, one of the captains of this team. He was just in Sweden practicing with a semi-pro team. He has pro aspirations.
What a great experience that must have been. You know, we have a lot of guys in our county who have those opportunities to go train with these pro and semi-pro clubs out in Europe. What an incredible experience for him.
Malverne on the far side has it for the throw-in as they look to get it in clean. Heroes started with it and now moved up the far side. It's back with Clarke for a moment. Trying to advance, they do, but it's taken back. Up top, we'll see Whitehouse with it. A lot of this team and their success runs through Whitehouse.
He's such a solid presence there in that back line. You know, calm and controlled on the ball.
There comes Clarke. Big takeaway there. They get possession back, but can't do much with it.
That was Gangjufi with the win there. It was really good play. Nice defensive work out of him to win that ball.
And he almost had the connection with Demosthenos. Now Clarke has it back. Clarke still trying to settle in offensively and in transition here. Good pass. And now with it, Malverne trying to threaten. But in the middle of the box, blocked around, but Malverne still controlling it. We get a whistle. And I believe that was offsides.
Offsides is a call. You know, when you have a team that's playing such a high intensity, high press like Malverne does, it's very hard for a team like Clarke or any team who's facing that to get settled into your offense. You're unsettled. Sometimes these guys are going to get panicked on the ball. They just have to take their time and settle in and breathe.
Good header from Whitehouse. Disrupts the advance for Clarke.
You know, if I'm the coach right now, I'm telling them, listen, boys, settle down. Get in your spots. Get settled. Now let's start getting your offense going. You know, we have the ball right now. Let's stay with it. Let's maintain control. Let's settle into our offensive set.
A little bit of possession right now could go a long way for Clarke, who have really struggled. We're 10 minutes in now. And there's a good takeaway, good aggressive play by Adrian Ramirez. And here's a great pass. Arujo, good aggressive play, charging out, and he's already making his presence felt as someone who's just not going to stay put in goal.
Absolutely, and that was such a beautifully played ball where if you play that back again at some point, you'll see Arujo has that moment of hesitation where he doesn't know if he's going to come out on that ball or not. That's a perfectly placed ball by Malverne. Big throw here from Whitehouse coming up.
Do you have what it takes to go pro? AX Soccer is giving you the chance to prove it. The professional tryouts are coming to New York July 11th through 13th at Malverne High School in Malverne, New York. This is your opportunity to showcase your skills in front of top scouts coaches, and decision makers from around the world. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Your future in professional soccer starts here. Register now at axsoccer.com and take your first step towards your dream.
Those guys from AX Soccer were here this summer here at Malverne. What an incredible experience that they put on here. Seeing these guys train, a number of our Nassau County athletes had an opportunity to get some free goalie work. Malverne keeper Nick Cornell, Limber keeper Jake Prince, and the Garden City keeper had some opportunity to get some work in, and they got some phone calls. You know, what an amazing experience for these guys.
Great experience, a great resource, good connections to be involved with AX Soccer. Definitely worth checking out. At the minimum, go to the website to see it. We are now under 29 minutes to play in this opening half. Not many opportunities created in those first 11 and a half minutes, but I think some positives mainly on the Clarke defensive end for each team. When Malverne's had possession, I think Rob Anderson's had some stuff that he'll be pleased with, and Coach Espinoza will have some things that he'll be satisfied with, but a big kick coming up here for Malverne to try and create a real opportunity against Arujo, who they really haven't done much against yet.
Super dangerous position here. You almost want to treat this like a corner. Just play that ball in, run a corner set piece.
Ben starts it right to Arujo. So the free position will end up with the goalie, and he'll clear it out immediately after. A bit of an opportunity for Clarke now to try and take some momentum from the stop. And just on the touchline there, not pleased with that call was Leon Gochufi, who just bordered along that line. And you can see that save again. Good job by Arujo, who is showing Malverne early, you're going to have to do the most to get by me.
Yeah, and Babin put an incredible move on that ball, too.
Good takeaway. And a shot from way out is going to end up wide right. A good try, but for Arning, it's just not going to go.
That's a situation. Just go ahead and have one. Let it rip. Might as well. You never know. You get lucky. And then you make the Nassau County Instagram's Goal of the Week nominations.
There's a header for Malverne, and with Joseph Arning and his brother, but we'll get to both, of course, throughout the whole evening here. Coach Anderson praises the ability of Joseph to play in space. As you know, such a rare trait to naturally possess, says Arning is as good as any player he's ever had when it comes to playing in space, always creating opportunity, whether he's on the ball or off. And his brother possesses a similar trait, but Coach Anderson says it's just going to take a little bit more time to develop as he is the younger player.
Midfield is so important out here. You know, it can win or lose games, and Arning plays it so well.
There's Arning sending one in front of the goal. A good opportunity is going to end up high. Philip Beben was on the other side of it. The opportunities are coming now. Let me tell you quick about Footballers Media. They're a trend-setting platform for modern soccer. See our featured athletes and become a part of Footballers family by creating your very own edit. Our objective is to shine a spotlight on your soccer career. The platform will boost your recruiting needs and help enhance your soccer image. DM us on Instagram at Footballers Media. That's FUTBOLERS Media on Instagram. So for Malverne East Rockaway, the opportunity is starting to show up now because they are really earning possession in this first half.
No, they're definitely knocking on the door. It's just a matter of when they put one past Arujo here.
And, of course, he's certainly not going to give them anything easy. But if they keep playing this way, it's only a matter of time. Clarke looking to get some possession of their own, but deep in their own end right now. Malverne back with it. Centered up for Beben. He rolls one towards Arujo.
And that all started from that high pressing from Jeremiah Arning. You know, he's getting up there and he's getting a foot in front of Zevdet Dalipi, and that ball just takes a little bit of a deflection, and instead of just a 34, 40, 50-yard kick down the field, it stays there. Malverne maintains possession.
Having to go up against one Arning feels like enough, and then there's two out there, and Clarke's feeling the pain. They'll get a possession here. It is a big moment for Clarke to just try and build some time of possession. Even if you don't come away with an opportunity, they have to start building some of that offensive momentum, because so far it's been all Malverne through these first 16-plus minutes.
And what Clarke needs to do is they need to get more of the ball on the foot of the young man who just kicked it, Daniel Guevara. You know, last year, Clarke's best player, Christian Carballo, he contributed 7 of their 12 goals on the team. He's gone now. Guevara's the man now. Get the ball on his foot more.
That pass too high, and it'll end up out of play. Malverne East Rockaway will take possession right back. But Clarke had a little bit of a moment where they want to be. Still work to be done, though, for Coach Espinoza's squad offensively, trying to string something together. They get the takeaway and send it right back towards the Mules. But now Clarke with it back. Pinballs around. Arning, some good footwork. Advances it to his brother. Jeremiah takes a lot of contact. And it'll be Clarke's possession.
Smart play from Guevara.
Here's some trouble now. Clarke generating. Open look, shot towards goal is in. Unbelievable. So Clarke breaks through Leon Gojufi, gets one by Marcus Daly, and it's a 1-0 lead. Despite all of Malverne East Rockaway's pressure and possession, it's Clarke who breaks the ice. We'll get another look at this one, Brian. Tough first look for Marcus Daly in goal.
Nice touch inside. Beautiful finish off that right foot, and that all came from that heads-up play of Guevara on the quick restart off that foul. And that's one of those plays where, you know, as the goalie, you have to get your hands on it. It wasn't kicked with a lot of power, not a whole lot of pace. That was just one of those things where knock the ball down, get on top of it. But that all does not happen without the high IQ play of Guevara on the quick restart.
Guevara and Gojufi make it happen. That's the way it's supposed to go. That's the recipe for Clarke. And now a sudden shift of momentum. Marcus Daly was all over it, but just a tough shot to deal with. A real pesky one. It's a 1-0 game. 21:55 to play in the opening half.
And now all of a sudden Clarke is going to start playing with a lot of confidence. You know, they were playing on their back foot. Now they're playing on the front foot. They got some confidence. Now they're going to start pounding away over here at Malverne East Rockaway.
And you see the difference already in physicality from Clarke, trying to keep Malverne from advancing the ball. Malverne gets it for the moment. Arning has it. He fights through 2 Clarke defenders. Good pass. Can Malverne respond? Great defensive play. Now Clarke has it. Get another look at this defensive play while play goes on. This is a really good job to prevent a potential game-tying goal.
Yes, Adrian Ramirez, so smooth on the ball. Well done.
Almost trouble as Daly came all the way out to try and collect that.
And there's Kai Destine with that 4.840 speed plowing through. He almost looked more like Cam Scatabo running down the middle of that field. And I think the goalie looked up. His eyes got big seeing that big boy barreling through there. What a great hustle play out of him, coming out of nowhere on that ball.
Destine really is like a running back coming through the field, pursuing the ball. He's got a nose for it. And he's come close now 2 or 3 times to creating something special on his own. Again, one of those things that feels like a matter of time if Malverne East Rockaway is not too careful about keeping the ball away from him. Whitehouse advances it. Now popped up towards the half line, played by the Mules. Staubitz had it, sent it in. The Rams take it back. On the foot of Beben. He sends it over to Arning. The pass got away. Good job handling it before it went out, but it's going to end up back with Clarke. And here's one just sent towards Arujo. He's going to come out to play it, and he grabs it. No problem.
Now, what's really interesting about this game, I think, if you watch this game from the original setup, Leon Gojufi was originally set up as the left mid. He's shifted all over this field. And one of the things Coach Ramirez told me was that they love to be very fluid with their formations. Sometimes they'll set up as a 4-4-2, then they'll shift to a 4-3-3, a 4-1-4-1. They just play with it as the game dictates. Right now, you see him up top. But the one thing that I love, the great characteristic of this team, I love the chemistry right now between Gojufi and Demosthenes. They are playing so well together over here on the left side of the field.
Malverne looking to even this thing up. 18:22 to play in the opening half. Clearing attempt not clean. Whitehouse tries to head it back. Here's Clarke with it. It'll be sent all the way back down where Daly touches it and quickly gives it up. Arning trying to play it downfield, and it goes way out of play.
There's that great clear by DeLippe. Again, we talked about in the top of the show bunk, freshman, second year on varsity, so calm and composed back there. That's what you want out of that center back position.
Arning has it. Joseph inbounds to Jeremiah, throws it in, but it's going to be bounced out, so Joseph Arning will go back to grab it. There's one towards goal, but it ends up behind. On the try was Philip Beben. And you see these Arning brothers all over the field. Coach Anderson says the best part about coaching them is how responsible they are as people. Mature, beyond their years, and together just make life so easy for a coach because they are those unspoken captains. They don't have the C, but they are leaders. They do bring the tone at practice. And the two of them on the field, of course, a tremendous impact.
That's so important for Coach Anderson. We were talking before the game. Coach Anderson might have the most difficult job of any coach in the county, right? He doesn't work at either one of these two schools, and he has to bring two different schools together to play on the same field on the same team. No other coach has to deal with that. He does a great job with it. Before the game, these guys had such a great rapport with each other. As soon as the East Rockaway kids got here, they were all talking to each other, friendly chirping, great chemistry out of this team.
Clarke threatening again now, but a good double team disrupts that. Clarke's still with it, though. Gotta love the effort from Demosthenes trying to keep possession for the Rams. They will keep it after it goes out, and heading over to get it is Connor Lane.
And let's not forget, this Clarke team is playing with 3 missing starters, right? 2 are out on concussions, 1 sitting on a red card. And, again, this is next man up situation. Sometimes things like this can bring a team together and make them play even better than they did. Guys are stepping up here.
Guevara to throw it in. And that'll be touched out by Arning. Both Arning brothers again are in there, and now see them have a little dialogue with each other too. Always on the same page. And a good job by Malverne. They're going to get possession back here.
But that was a great eat by Caleb Gomez-Aguadello, right? That ball, if he doesn't get in front of that ball, that's all the way down the field, and now Malverne's going the other way. At least this way, you know, you put your body in front of that ball, keep Malverne down on this side of the field, keep them here, maybe they can start to employ a little bit of a high press, put a little more intensity behind the ball like they've been doing, keep that ball on this side of the 50.
Daly had it for a moment, but it was actually just an extra ball on the field. And now Malverne looking to advance it. They can't. Good job by Clarke. Clarke has now really flipped the field after those first 15 minutes. It's been tough for Malverne to get around the box.
And you know, it looks like there might be a little frustration creeping in down there from Malverne. They're really not having their way with them like they thought they would be. And like you just said, Bunk, it's been a lot of Clarke lately. Malverne's got to go back to their game a little bit.
It's a good fight there between Jeremiah Arning and Caleb Gomez-Aguadello, and eventually, after 2 more touches, the ball ends up right back in the hands of Brian Arujo. And he's going to clear it out. Sebastian Quiros gives some great size to this Malverne team. Good job by him. He's got a tough task of trying to close off Kai Destine. Good footwork. That's a great run for Staubitz. And now a beautiful pass. And Arujo was first one there. A really nice try. Good stretch by Philip Beben.
Yeah, it looked like that was Sebastian Ruedo on that run down there. And another great play from Arujo coming out there and knocking that ball out of play.
Arujo playing a good, aggressive game, but conscious as well. Nothing reckless. Now a big-time corner coming up for Malverne.
Correction, that was Randy Pogge with that run.
It's Joseph Arning who has the ball knocked out. He'll head right back over to set up the corner again with his brother Jeremiah. No, Jeremiah will walk off. It was the 2 of them prior. Arning sends it towards goal. It's knocked out. Another try is going to go well over, but another threat from Malverne, and maybe they can build a little momentum. It was Staubitz with the last touch.
Yeah, that Johnny Staubitz with that audacious scissor kick. I think his eyes were bigger than his stomach right there. You know, he was looking for a highlight reel goal, but that was a great ball that was played into the center of that box.
Clarke with a run. Doing a good job today is Demosthenes. He's really popped.
Yeah, I really like his game. He's going to end up on some end-of-the-season lists for sure. He's one of these guys, though, I feel like is an unsung hero. He does a lot of work out here. He's not going to end up on the stat box, but he's one of those anchors of the team.
Clarke really just trying to generate anything offensively, but it ends up back in their own zone. And tied up a bit, but coming out of that one with the ball, it'll be Gojufi, who had the lone goal so far of this first half. We are approaching 10.5 minutes to play. Back with it now. It's the Mules. They're on a run. They'd love to leave this half, of course, with this game even, as Clarke looks to fend them off for another 10 minutes.
And, Malverne East Rockaway is no stranger from those come-from-behind wins. Last week, taking down Manhasset 4-2 in a game that Coach Anderson called probably the best win of his career. They know how to come back. They know how to win. But for Clarke right now, it's all about being in control, maintaining that lead. They put another goal in here on Malverne, and they're going to be looking real good.
Towards goal, but set behind it. That's a productive sequence, though, for Clarke. Unable to put it on goal was Kai Destine, but he has been such an impact player deep in the Mules' defensive end. Get one more look at it. The run he has to acquire possession after and get somewhat of a chance out of it. Productive sequence could add to the momentum for this Clarke team.
Absolutely. It was a nice run, shoulder to shoulder, take that extra touch. He just needed to come inside that box a little more.
It's a good job stepping up right there for Clarke, but taking right back. Good job by Johnny Staubitz, who's having a really nice 10 minutes or so here. Clarke will get it on a throw-in right in front of us. Taking it, Guevara. Sends it deep. And that'll be touchdown of play again. Clarke will have it back with Kai Destine. He'll give it up for Guevara. 8:40 to play here in the first half.
Guevara really controlling the pace of play here. I like what I'm seeing out of him.
And we'll get a whistle there. It was a good run. Some contact. Nearly getting tripped up was Philip Beben.
Yeah, that's a foul all day. We have a great officiating crew down there. Eric Williams and Alex Rincones, two of the county's top officials. They can call a great game.
And so far it has been. No discrepancies early in this first half from the officiating. Here's a good run. Getting his first real chance to handle the ball was Jaden Mora. Big part of this success for Clarke in this first half is Mora hasn't been able to get into too many dangerous situations.
And we really haven't said his name a whole lot. That's something if I'm Coach Anderson, I want to change that in the second half when we get a chance to make those adjustments. Get the ball on his feet.
Arning to Arning. Extra pass and a shot towards goal. Took one ricochet and right back to Arujo. A good run for Malverne, another good chance. I think Jeremiah Arning might want that one back.
That was a great ball play to back across the line, make the keeper move across his line, make him move his feet.
It was a good job by Clarke to be set up for it. There's Jeremiah Arning again. Made the great pass last time, tries another, but it's going to end up blocked and out. So Arning goes to collect it. His brother, Joseph, will come towards him. 6:42 to go. It's a big corner right now for Joseph Arning, who has a great leg.
And this is a situation now when you know you have a stud keeper like Arujo. Put a guy on the keeper. Right? I'm not saying play dirty, but shoulder to shoulder, right? Maybe stand on his foot a little bit until the ref sees it. Do anything you can to disrupt the rhythm of that keeper and not let him get settled.
Arning plays it for a throw-in. And now Whitehouse will take it. Whitehouse with a good ball out in front of goal, but nothing yet. A good try is going to end up high and just a bit wide far side. Malverne with another good sequence, though.
Trying to hit that upper corner, and what'd they say that one time? Just a bit outside, trying to hit that upper corner. The one thing I'm noticing out of Malverne East Rockaway, and it's hard to criticize the team at the top of the table who's outscoring everybody. They have a tendency to hold the ball a little too long, right? Get the ball off your feet, pass and move, right? Try not to dribble through 4 defenders. pass and then do that off-the-ball movement that's going to work for you.
Here comes Clarke, looking to add another before the end of the half as we approach the 5-minute mark. Guevara has it. Lobs one in towards the box and unable to corral it was Kai Destine.
Yeah, he made a great move down there. A little too heavy on that touch, but I love that move he made in there to try and make something happen. And now Clarke's going to try and keep Malverne East Rockaway pinned deep in their attacking third.
Whitehouse throws it, but it ends up out anyways. So Guevara will get it right back in the same spot. Actually deeper down now where Whitehouse just threw it from. And maybe Clarke can try and add to this. It would be incredible if they can head in with a 2-goal lead to the break. They have an opportunity to create something here. Arning with possession. Now to Jeremiah. Jeremiah sends it up the line, but taken right back by Clarke and out. Clarke will keep possession. With it is Caleb Gomez Agudelo. Some good touches from the Rams, but it's back with Malverne East Rockaway. That pass going to end up out.
Those are the things as a team you want to try and limit, those unforced turnovers, right? Those balls where you just a little bit of a misplay. You want to try and limit those.
Approaching 3 minutes to play now in this opening half. Still just 1-0 Clarke. There's a good pass upfield. Jaden Mora had it, but we get a whistle.
That's a handball down there. I talked to Philip Beeben about his chemistry with Jaden Mora. He said, they trained a lot in the offseason. They've been playing travel ball for a while. Great duo, those two. The chemistry is just off the charts.
Couple kicks end up out, so the Mules will have it. Good touch by the fan there. But now back in play with the players. Advanced up the side and quickly headed out. Good play just to stop it for Caleb Gomez Agudelo. Malverne looking to create. Bayben has it. Good pass in front. Stopped by Clarke. The Mules still have it, though. It's Mora. Great feet. Mora looking to create for himself. Pass in front for Bayben. He fires, and it's saved. Another great job by Brian Arujo.
That's 6 saves for Arujo here in the first half. And there we see that great partnership with Bayben and Mora connecting. They're gonna watch the film on that one tomorrow, and they're gonna say, I want that one back.
Good job by Arujo, standing tall.
And that he's just showed us right there why he's one of the best keepers in the county. Not many guys can make that save.
Clarke will have a throw-in on the far side right in front of that Malverne East Rockaway bench. First touch after the throw-in went to Mora, but it's sent back down now. Arning. Now back to Clarke, and clearing it was Adrian Ramirez. Ramirez having a really nice game so far. Good first half. Clarke will have another throw-in from the Mule sideline. This one will end up out again with Clarke as the clock ticks down on the first half of play. That's cleared all the way down. And the clock hits 0. We get the whistles. One nothing the score after 40 minutes. Clarke ahead, courtesy of this goal from Leon Gojufi. And the lead preserved by Brian Arujo and his 6 first-half saves. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the half here with more action from Malverne High School between Clarke and Malverne East Rockaway here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Get ready for an exciting season of girls lacrosse. The Long Island Junior Lacrosse League is gearing up for its 6th season this fall 2025. Don't miss out on the action. Join us for another incredible season of competitive lacrosse right here on Long Island. LIJLL is dedicated to providing high-energy, competitive environment for girls lacrosse while keeping the game close to home. Over the years, we've had the privilege of hosting many of Long Island's top high school and club teams, fostering talent and passion for the sport. With fields located in both Nassau and Suffolk County, we make it easy for players to compete and grow their skills. Contact us today, and we'll see you on the field this fall.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is halftime here in the soccer game, and we are here with 3 of the finest officials that we've got in the sport. We'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Steve Denisi. I've been in the organization for 24 years. Also a college national referee, USSF regional referee.
I'm Jonathan. I've been reffing for 6 years now, but this is my first year doing Nassau, and I've been playing at Oneonta at college, playing for 2 years now.
My name's Bobby Baldwin. I've been a referee for 14 years. I've been with the Nassau County Association about 10 years. I'm also a NYSOA NCAA official, in addition to a USSF and futsal referee. And just recently got involved with amputee soccer and was fortunate enough to represent the U.S. in the Gold Cup in Mexico recently for World Cup qualifiers, which was a lot of fun.
All the years that you're doing this, can you tell us what kind of preparation you guys have to do off the field to be in the type of condition that you're in to officiate an entire soccer season?
Fitness is probably the most important thing. You got to keep up with your fitness. That's the most important. The rules, because they're changing, and just watching the game, all the clips that you see on TV that are shown, and all the games, and the best way for education is watching soccer.
And Jonathan, you're new to Nassau County soccer. Can you tell some of the young guys that are interested in joining, or the older guys that are interested in joining the association, what did you have to go through recently to get to where you are today?
So I had to take a lot of classes, just like recertifications to get started, get back into it, because I've had experience reffing, and for Nassau, for high school soccer, JV, whatever it is, it's a process, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. And to tag along what Steve said too, just preparing is also very good off the field. I always grew up playing soccer and, just watching it on TV, so that also helps a lot, tag along preparing and, just having that experience is very, very helpful.
What kind of things do you look for as an official and make sure that your games are going well?
During the game, as a referee, you're constantly measuring the temperature of the players on the field, trying to determine who's frustrated, and so we can identify problems before they manifest. We try to manage those situations as best we can without having to use the whistle, hopefully, and or worst case scenario cards. But that doesn't always work, and those tools are there at our disposal to be used as necessary. I have to say that over the years, the coaches and the players and the association have been working together, and I really see an improvement all across the board, whether it's spectators, fans, player behavior, bench decorum. We've made strides together, I think, in finding a good middle ground, because at the end of the day, it's always going to be a little crazy, and that's why it's fun. As referees, we feed off of that energy.
What kind of advice or what kind of message you want to give to parents? You know, they're an important part of our game, fans in general.
I think the spectators, I think the most thing is to be positive and to set a good example for their young student athletes. If they're screaming profanities or negative stuff throughout the whole contest, it's not a good way to grow. Not every call is going to go their way. You know, it's 50-50. You have a 50-50 shot at getting it right, as we always say. But if you see the overall big picture, I think a lot of fans don't understand the overall big picture of the game. And the big picture is this: one call doesn't decide the game, and sometimes they harp on the one big decision. Now, it might be a big decision, but remember, soccer is, whether it's 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, it's the whole length of the game. So they, as the athlete should perform throughout the whole contest, the referee is also performing throughout the whole contest.
Can you tell people just one, I guess, basically, and we're going to try to put that graphic up there, but how people can get involved if they want to become officials, and advice that you have to young guys coming into the game?
We've worked hard on the offseason to recruit, first of all, a lot of newer referees, a lot of referees that are experienced, and but new referees to the organization. I think that's going to be reflected on the field this season. You're actually, for the first time, going to see 3-man crews on regular season games, which we never thought would happen, at least in my lifetime. So that's really exciting, and a testament to the recruiting that we've done at Nassau County Boys Soccer Officials Association. So that would be the best place to go, is the website, Nassau County Boys Soccer Officials Association. If you Google that, it'll come right up. Just make sure you've got Nassau Boys. There are several different associations out there, although ours is certainly the best.
Like what Bobby said about recruiting and stuff, we're really excited, because in the next 3 years, we want to be really, really young, really, really top-notch in the state, and that when we send the best product out to the field, the fans are going to appreciate it, the coaches are going to appreciate it, and more importantly, the student athletes are going to appreciate it.
We want to thank all of you guys for joining us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and very honored and privileged to be talking to you guys this evening.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
back live here from Malverne High School on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We appreciate you joining us. Once again, I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by my partner Brian Donahue, the head coach of Oyster Bay Soccer. Brian, you've been in the position of both of these coaches many times. Talk to me about the adjustments you'd be looking to make on each sideline.
Absolutely. We always talk about how with soccer there's no timeouts. Halftime's the only time you really get to make a whole team adjustment. For Malverne, the Trailers, they started to get away from their high press and that quick press action they were doing. I would say, guys, let's stay with what's successful. The other thing I would say is let's start exploiting their fullbacks. Let's start hitting some corners more, make that one extra pass. For Clarke, keep putting the pressure on Malverne. The longer you can possess, the more you're going to dominate this game. They were successful when they kept the ball, they possessed the ball. The other key for Clarke is keep the ball on the foot of Daniel Guevara. I want to see him with the ball more, and I really like what I started to see out of Caleb Gomez-Algudello. I want to see him get involved a little bit more also.
On the Malverne side of things, we saw really limited opportunities in that first half for Jaden Mora. If you're Coach Anderson, how are you trying to scheme Mora into this game without getting too crazy about forcing him the ball?
Honestly, I would drop Jeremiah Arning back in, maybe play him as a false nine, let Jaden Moore go back and forth across the line. I would have him move all over the place, start to confuse that back line, right? Because, honestly, if you look at that back line, as good as Zevdet Dalipi is, he's still a freshman. He doesn't have a whole lot of varsity game experience. So the more I can move a guy like Jaden Moore back across that line and confuse him, the better. Start splitting those backs a little bit.
Malverne looking to even things up in this second half. They left the first half empty-handed down 1-0. They had a little rush right there, but cleared out. And now back the other way. One of the impact players from that first half, Kai Destine, even though he's not going to show up on the stat sheet in that first half, he really gave Malverne some problems.
Absolutely. Big boy put in a lot of work. He was hitting them guys hard on that body-to-body contact. That drains you as a center back. When you have somebody making those deep runs, those center backs, they want to sit back and do nothing the whole game. They want to let their offense control in the other half of the field. He keeps making them work. It's just going to tire them out.
Mules have possession. It's a throw-in on the far side. Last touch by Clarke. Jeremiah Arning throws it in. Trying to get it to Jaden Mora. Header, and now it's with Mora. Mora on the run. Loses it. And just kicked out. They'll eat the throw-in. Smart play there to just get rid of it by Platanos Demosthenes.
And Mora just couldn't find his feet to get that shot, and he was looking for it. He was right there. Good body control, good movement into goal. He just couldn't find that right angle. He looks like he's getting antsy. He wants that ball inside those pipes.
Good throw-in and an aggressive play. Try and put something on, and it'll be a throw-in for Malverne East Rockaway again from that corner. And you're right with Mora. You can see when that ball's on his foot, he is looking for it, and he's not doing anything destructive. It's not selfish. He feels it right now, and he wants that opportunity. Can create it for himself.
No, but if I'm Coach Anderson and I have a player of Mora's caliber, I'm telling him, dude, go be selfish. Fire away.
So another save there for Arujo.
Especially inside that yellow box, you get selfish. You sit there and start winding up, make the defense foul you. Maybe you induce a penalty kick. You do whatever you can.
You get a whistle, and Malverne East Rockaway will have it. So Demosthenes with a little bit of contact there. The official's going to catch him for it.
I can almost hear the "you can't do that" chants coming from the crowd.
A good opportunity here for Malverne to try and continue their run of possession. Overall, without an official statistic on it, you know that they've dominated time of possession in this game, but Clarke, of course, with the meaningful one. They have the lone goal. And now Clarke again, going to run Destine. At it now. It gets advanced up. Destine on the prowl again. Kai Destine again pursuing this. He's so dangerous. Not giving Malverne an inch.
He really is, and part of the reason he's so dangerous, if you go back and watch this tape, he is fearless. A lot of guys will turn their body and shy away from balls. He has no problem running through everything, and you need that almost reckless fearlessness from your striker who has no problem running through a center back.
Senior with a great mentality up front. For a young team, he is so valuable. Mora tries to enter it. Got denied, but it's back out to Mora. Looking to create something. Arning. Rolls it back. Quiros has it. He had some big flash moments in that first half. Malverne loses it for a moment, but again, sent out by Demosthenes. It'll be a throw-in. Here's Beben.
That's a great move right there.
Terrific footwork. A great move. Malverne trying to create something. It was Sebastian Rueda, the freshman.
You know, Baben was just wide open in the middle of the box, you know, hands up, calling for it. And this is what I was talking about before, is just you got to try and get that ball off your foot a little bit faster. You know, holding the ball too long is letting that defense key in on you and find those men.
Good long clear from Arujo. Header bounced towards the half line and now sent back into the Clarke defensive end. Crowded space. Mora and Beben right on top of each other, but Beben will have it, and now he'll leave it. Joseph Arning will take it as the clock continues to tick down. 33:45 to go in this second half. Here's Joseph Arning. He's got a big leg. Puts it towards goal. Bounces around. Clarke has it, trying to clear. Did not get all of it, though, so it's back with Arning. Arning tries to put one towards goal, and it's cleared out into the seats. And we almost made a play on that. And you could see for Malverne, they were desperate to get that ball in as quick as possible. They know it's an uphill battle here. 33 minutes to play. Still trailing by a goal. Haven't been able to break through yet.
And they want to keep that pressure on you. That's the thing that is the hallmark and the key of this team. Again, I heard a coach say this a number of years ago. Chris McCann, who was coaching in Great Neck, he's now the athletic director at Mineola. I heard him say once, watching a game, stay with what works, right? It's so very simple. It's stay with what works, and sometimes teams just get away from that thing. Stay with what works, and for Malverne, it's that high-pressure, high-press opportunity. Stay with what works.
How difficult is it right now for a coach and just the players overall, obviously just a group of young men, to be able to keep their heads level on each side of this? Both teams have different scenarios, as Mora has a try saved by Arujo. On the Malverne side of things, they're in a position right now that they didn't expect to be in. The vibes before this game were so high. And on the Clarke side of things, they're trying to force a really big upset. Two young teams. How difficult is that mentally?
It's so difficult. I've been a coach of a team that we've had losing seasons, and you have a game like this where you think you're going to win, and now you're in a position where you're losing. Every time you turn around and look at that clock, the anxiety level raises. So now your touches are a little bit off. The passes are not as crisp. You try and do things that you normally don't do. You get away from yourself. For Clarke, it's the same thing. Your anxiety is going to go up a little bit more, but for you, you have to calm down a little bit. You want to just stay in your space, know that you're winning, and say to yourself, it's okay, we can win this game, right? Get more opportunities. Let them make mistakes, and then just go attack. It's not a park the bus situation yet. It's not a time-wasting situation yet. But for Clarke, let's just start controlling this game.
And it's one of those interesting points in a match where there's kind of that dichotomy of time where for Clarke it feels like these 30 minutes could be a lifetime, and for Malverne it's just ticking down as fast as possible. We got another stoppage.
And this is also the point of the game where you would get like this lull. There's a lot of stoppages, and here we're going to have a card for dissent.
It's going to be a yellow card on Joseph Arning.
So now he's going to have to be careful, right? He plays a very important role in the middle of this field. He's just been booked for dissent for talking back to the referee, which is something that we don't ever want to see. As coaches, we don't mind a card for a hard play. We don't mind a card for being physical. But to go back at the referee, that's a big no-no. So now when he comes back into the game, he has to be very careful because he is a physical player.
And you see Coach Anderson right now is having a quick talk with one of his team leaders. He speaks so highly of Arning. And there's Jeremiah Arning getting tripped up with possession. So you get a whistle.
I heard a podcast the other day that said, we coach for free, we get paid to do everything else. And Coach Anderson is one of the best in the county at doing those other things, right? Playing psychologist, right? Playing the guy who's keeping his guys calm and getting their heads in the game. Doing that on the sideline right now, Arning plays a big role for these guys in the middle of the field. They're going to need him here down the stretch.
Clear attempt was blocked. And we'll stop play for a moment. Do you have what it takes to go pro? AX Soccer is giving you the chance to prove it. The professional tryouts are coming to New York, July 11th through 13th at Malverne High School in Malverne, New York. This is your opportunity to showcase your skills in front of top scouts, coaches, and decision makers from around the world. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Your future in professional soccer starts here. Register now at axsoccer.com and take your first step towards your dream. Still a 1-0 game here, 28 minutes to play. First touch from the sideline, Guevara. And the header from Beben sends it back across midfield. And now a little back and forth between the two squads. A few headers are exchanged. Whitehouse with one. Now Jeremiah Arning. On the run now, Jaden Mora. Beben touches it back to Mora.
He's so good on the ball, so smooth.
Mora with a great pass. Beben turns, fires, and it's going to be deflected out of bounds. A great block made, I believe, by... check that. I was going to say Guevara, number 10, but it's actually Giancarlo Vitali. We'll take another look. Jaden Mora with a great threat here and a terrific pass. Beben just has a shot blocked.
And that's you turn around that FIFA card and you see the 99 chem that both of those guys have was full on display right there.
Corner kick going to be cleared out with a header. And now Demosthenes takes it up the near sideline.
So skillful right there for Joseph Arning with that slide tackle. And a lot of guys in the county, they would have gone in extra hard on that. They would have caught a card for a hard foul or a late foul. Very skillful with that. And it looks like now number 10, Jaden Moore, is getting a talking to. He's getting away with just a warning. And this is what I was talking about before, right? The anxiety levels going up from this Malverne Rockaway team. They just have to take a breath and settle in and don't let this game get away from them.
Here's Mora. We saw what he can do with his feet. Last time through, created a great chance. Coach Anderson says he is the best ball handler he's ever coached. High praise, and this is a turnover. Possession changes. Trying to advance it, but the Mules have it. That's a good run to advance the ball, but right back to the foot of Clarke, and now a fight for it on the other end, but Malverne will take it in advance. It's going to be kicked out of bounds, so just conceding right there was Adrian Ramirez, who has had a really nice evening on the back end for Clarke. Now here's Beben with it, still trailing by a goal. Malverne looking to strike. Beben driving, tries to put one towards goal. Didn't get all of it, though. It's sent back out, but to another blue jersey. And that's going to be an easy whistle, as charging in was Johnny Staubitz.
The one thing I would say to Malverne Rockaway right now is they have to do a better job of getting better angles on these shots. The angles are too narrow. Get that ball in front of the goal a little bit more, increase your chances of that ball getting past Araujo.
And, of course, credit to Clarke, who have made nothing easy today. Joseph Arning will be the man here. We'll see how he approaches this one. Arning puts it towards goal, wide left.
I don't hate it. He put a nice move on that ball. A little bit too much on it, but he had a nice movement on that ball. Well read by Araujo.
Still a 1-0 game and 26:40 to play in this second half. Requesting to put the clock back to 24:22. So the request granted, and play resumes. Clarke with a good run right here. They have some numbers.
Great ball movement out of Clarke right now.
Coming all the way out to make a play on it was the goaltender Marcus Daly. Good aggressive job, showing some urgency from the back end for the Mules, and now they go the other way, trying to turn it into offensive momentum.
Yeah, Daly got clipped there a little bit. I see him rubbing his head. Looks like he's okay. Brave move out of that backup keeper.
Clarke with it. Now back to Malverne Rockaway. Ben has it. He has time here. Going to send it towards the box. Ben almost had a great look, but the pass just out in front of him. Here's Mora with an opportunity. Mora puts on the brakes. With 3 Clarke defenders on him, Mora tries to put it out towards the front. Pass too high. Still with the Mules. Now sent in, and an easy grab for Brian Araujo, who seems to be in the right spot all evening.
He reads that ball so well. You know, that was an attempt at a cross or a shot. It doesn't matter. He's there to pull that ball down. You know, and there's another situation of Malverne Rockaway holding that ball a little bit too long. Let's release that ball in the front of the box. Maybe a little delayed run in. And here's Clarke going the other way.
Good job cutting that off, as another opportunity for Kai Destin was available, and he just continues to be a thorn in the side of the Mules. Malverne takes possession back. Beben on the run. Looks to advance it. Jose Gomez was in the area. It goes out, and now Mora takes it.
Jose Gomez doing some great work over here on the left-hand side of the field.
Beben lost his footing, and it's going to go the other way. Under 22 minutes to go in this half. Ryan Araujo Clears it. Big header. And now a header of Clarke's. We'll head to Whitehouse. Destine and Whitehouse converge. Neither come away with it. It's Gomez Agudelo. Clarke hasn't had too much possession in this second. We get a whistle.
You're right, Bunk. They haven't had a whole lot of possession, but I will say the possession they have has looked really good, right? They're making the most of their chance. They're not getting a whole lot of shots on goal, but they're having some dangerous possessions. A little more clinical in the final third, and they might have a couple more shots on goal here.
And that's been the story since about the 20-minute mark in the first half. When they do get possessions, they've been very effective. That's good footwork on the sideline to get possession back. Jose Gomez, who's had a couple of really nice looks here, but it's going to end up out. And with Clarke. Footballers Media is a trend-setting platform for modern soccer. See our featured athletes and become a part of the Footballers family by creating your very own edit. Their objective is to shine a spotlight on your soccer career. Our platform will boost your recruiting needs and help enhance your soccer image. DM us on Instagram at Footballers Media. That's FUTBOLERS Media on Instagram.
So now this is where a game gets silly, and now you starting to see some gamesmanship going on, right? So Daniel Guevara heads up play. Let's go stand in front of the ball to prevent the quick kick, right? But now to counteract that, Philip Babin thinks, let me kick it into him, trying to induce a yellow card. The referee says, no, we're not playing that game. Put the ball back and kick it. So now an argument ensues, and if you watch the clock, we just lost another minute off the clock, and now Malverne's killing their own clock. Right? This is why I always coach the guys that I talk to. Put the ball down and play. Right? And if the guy's going to stand in front, just play it out to the right. He can't touch it anywhere. It's a re-kick. Just play that ball out to the side to a guy.
Mora was on the run. He took some contact. We got a whistle in the near side corner. And now they really are in that dangerous territory of under 20 minutes, still trailing 1-0.
And Malverne Strachaway has nobody back. You know, we have one guy here. We got Edwin Espinoza sitting over here on the 30. Everybody is up, ripe for a Clarke counter. And now we have essentially a corner kick from Malverne Strachaway here.
It's Jaden Mora lining up for, you're right, what is essentially a corner. That's how they'll play it. Putting it out in front, the header and the finish.
Liam Whitehouse with the finish for the Mules. And we have a brand new game.
Even at 1:18 minutes to play, Liam Whitehouse finishes strong, and now Malverne East Rockaway can exhale. What a goal.
This is a great ball that's played up here. Nice loft, and Whitehouse puts a nice move, get in front of his defender. Time to celebrate here for Malverne East Rockaway. Job's not done, though. 0-0.
And now for Clarke, they have to get back to that urgency offensively that they found late in the first half. Clarke's played so well. They have to continue to just keep that level head and make sure that they don't let this slip away from them if it's their own doing. Got to make the Mules earn this. And we get a whistle on the far sideline.
And that's a bit of a gut punch here for Clarke, right? You think you're in control. You're looking good. The clock's winding down. East Rockaway's looking a little panicked. They score. Wind gets taken out of your sails a little bit. Now is a dangerous time. They always say in soccer, the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes after a goal is scored is super dangerous. For Clarke and Malverne East Rockaway, this is a time everyone's got to have the head on a swivel, play smart.
You get another whistle. So it's Beben lining up to kick. And he gives it a good ride towards the box. Header back. Here's an opportunity and another goal. But we do get, I think, the offsides call.
Yeah, that ball is going to get called back. I didn't exactly see the call from that ref. It looks like he's calling it offsides.
Offsides. And there wasn't too much of an argument from Malverne East Rockaway there.
No. Great finish, though.
Great finish.
Great finish.
Good stretch pass, but now I think that could force the emotion of Clarke and the mindset of Clarke to saying we just got away with one big time, and that's either a positive or I think a negative if you start to slip into that pessimistic mindset of giving one up, maybe a when it rains it pours type of feeling. Here's Malverne East Rockaway again. Decent-sized collision.
And I was about to say that is something they just cannot do. They cannot give up fouls like that inside the 20, inside the 15 like that, because this is a dangerous ball, especially off the foot of a guy like Jaden Mora, who's one of the most dangerous players in the county.
We saw what Mora did with the corner, set up a beauty. The header for Whitehouse is the only goal today for Malverne. Let's see if Mora can set up another one. To Mora's right is Joseph Arning. Mora steps in, sends it towards goal, and buries.
Goals like that show why he is who he is. The phrase, he is him, is there for a reason. He got to be careful he doesn't get an excessive celebration card. Good job out of the athletic director getting him out of the corner. That was great move on that ball to find the back of the net. Just two gentle steps up there and hitting the left side of the net. Gorgeous goal out of Jaden Moore.
Clarke in play today, in transition, has done such a nice job of keeping chances away from Mora. It was a huge problem in the first half for Malverne East Rockaway, but now Mora's had the two opportunities on free kicks and made the most of it, and now here he is again. Make it another. Mora doing it all on his own. Malverne East Rockaway having the 10 minutes they needed. 3-1 now the score.
And I think Jaden Moore has just come out here, put this game on his back, and he is now making a statement to everyone in AA3. Hey, by the way, you're looking at what could possibly be the player of the year.
We had said it early in this half and late in the first half, but you could see when Mora had the ball on his foot, he was trying to be the hero, to be that selfish player that he typically isn't. And that's probably a directive from his coaches saying, just go take this thing over. And boy, he's done that and more these last 10 minutes.
And Malverne East Rockaway is still hungry. They're not going to sit on just three. They want more. You know, when you have the opportunity to put 3, maybe 4 goals on a keeper like Brian Arujo, you know, that's a feather in your cap. You know, not a whole lot of people can do that on a guy like this.
Under 15 minutes to go now in this half. Malverne now finally really clicking. There's a good try. Arujo just got a piece. And for Brian Arujo, you know that because of the caliber of competitor and player he is and what a great keeper, he's going to be hard on himself about those last 10 minutes, but he's been phenomenal today and really throughout his entire high school career. He's made things very difficult on Malverne East Rockaway.
Oh, absolutely. When you look at the stat sheet, it's going to say goal was given up by Arujo. But when teams get into film rooms and they analyze tape the next day, you see it's an entire team that was the letdown. And then we're going to have another card coming out here, and that one is going to be given out to number 7, Philip Beeben, and that one is for dissent again. Second dissent card here for Malverne East Rockaway.
And you can see Coach Anderson, I think, not to put words in his mouth, but just motioning to him, saying, you know, things are going so well right now. We just had this great 10 minutes. We don't need that.
Right. You're up 3-1. You were given the foul. What could you possibly be arguing about? And what a flick on there.
Unbelievable.
From Jeremiah Arning with the goal.
I think he's in a bit of disbelief right now.
I mean,
that worked out the way it did.
That was a close your eyes and pray situation, but it looked gorgeous. Right? Beautiful ball from his brother here. 50-yard assist, turn around, knock it in. You know, the referees could say, hey, no good, you didn't call bank shot on that. But, you know, it works.
The Arning brothers have incredible chemistry with each other, so no surprise they're the pair that puts in that incredible goal.
And looks like Malverne East Rockaway is hungry for more. That high press is still going, and Jaden Moore crashing the keeper. He says, Coach, let me eat, Coach.
And you know they're not happy with the first half, really the first 60 minutes they put in this game. You know the coaching staff is going to harp on that, but they have made up for a lot of it with great play. A lot of contact there. The Clarke faithful here wanted a call.
No, they're not getting that one. That
was
one. Super clean, shoulder to shoulder. That's textbook defending.
That's a great job in transition.
And, of course, you know, they find at this exact moment that keeper's shoelaces come untied. Let's let that clock tick down a little bit. A little gamesmanship here.
Sebastian Quiros with the great defensive play. Coach Anderson told me this year he learned how to use his feet better. He's involved in taking throw-ins, and he's just become the ultimate player and the ultimate soldier for a coach to have. He's a yes, sir kind of guy. He just does what he's asked of. He does what the team needs from him. And he said that out of all the guys he coaches, there's a large group of players that he'd put under this classification, but Quiros is definitely one of them. He says, I just love to see him have success.
Those are the guys we call the glue guys. Those are the guys that hold teams together. Those are the guys you can, when things are not working, you can point to and say, hey, look, he can do it. Why can't you? But for the Clarke Rams, you know, this is one of these games that that are going to hang with you. You know, you have this great lead. You know, you're doing so well out there, and it's not like it's just a 2-1 game. Malverne East Rockaway just poured it on, and you have these mental lapses, right? You know, we had one in our first game of the season. We were hanging toe-to-toe with Calhoun. Next thing you know, 10-minute stretch, they hung 3 on us, and it was 4-0 before we knew it. And, you know, it takes a little while to recover from that. And for these Clarke players, you can see in their body language, they just look defeated right now. You know, it's very hard to recover from this. And that film session tomorrow I'm telling you, I've been in those rooms. I've run those rooms. It's going to be a tough film session tomorrow.
Here's a good chance. Destine on the run. He's going to pull it back. Good recovery by Arning. And the pass in front will be collected by Whitehouse. Now sent to the far side for Malverne East Rockaway, and now cleared back across looking for Mora. Won't have him. Instead, it's with Jose Gomez, who Coach Anderson calls Mighty Mouse. Says that he's everyone's favorite. Coaches, players, the fans, everybody's favorite player is Jose Gomez, and as he'll draw some contact there and take a whistle. Perfect segue into the next point about Gomez. He says that despite his size, he's going to take on everybody. No matter how big or small, how fast, how slow, how strong, he's going to take on any of his opponents physically, and he never takes a break. The only time he takes a break is if Coach Anderson pulls him off to tell him something, but then he goes right back in.
He's been doing a really good job today. I'm super impressed with him and, you know, just the work rate that he has out there.
But for this Clarke team, you're right. It's going to be a tough one. Leave a bad taste in your mouth, but it's a young team. There's a shot just wide of goal for Malverne East Rockaway. This is a young team. They have a handful of 8th grade call-ups that are now in their second year, so they're freshmen. They have a lot of promise, but you're looking to build that foundation for a year or two down the line when those guys are 4-year players in your program before even becoming seniors. That's what Coach Espinosa wants to see, and he said that you look at this matchup with Malverne, it just was an incredible test for them early in a season with this young team to really see what they're made of and see what they can do. And I think you could still take a lot away from those 60 minutes that they did lead.
And for Clarke also, it's about finding a real identity. You know, when I first started coaching, they were a low A in the AB conference. They were a super low A, and we played them as a B school. Then they were an A school. Now they're a double A school. So, you know, this tiny little district that a lot of people in Nassau County probably couldn't even find sitting in Levittown, you know, in the shadows of these bigger districts, it's a lot about is trying to find an identity, building the soccer culture here, which, you know, this coaching staff is doing a really good job with these kids. They, you know, despite the scoreboard, they've looked pretty good today.
So it'll be free position just outside of the box for the Mules. And it's Mora. Mora puts it towards goal and just misses wide left. May have been looking for a touch on the back end. Regardless, Clarke survives that shot from Mora, who has been so dangerous in this second half.
But, you know, unless something miraculous happens here in the last 7 minutes, you know, the 0-15 Malverne East Rockaway Mules from last year are now going to be sitting here at 3 wins on the season. You know, you said at the beginning of the telecast, these players said no more. You know, they all collectively decided we don't want to go through this anymore. And they are putting in the work, and they look fantastic out there. You know, it's a testament to Coach Rob Anderson. It's a testament to the Malverne community, the East Rockaway community. You know, on our main page, the Nassau Soccer Instagram page, we talked about who are going to be the biggest surprise of the season. Malverne East Rockaway was my pick. You know, they're a super talented team.
And Coach Anderson wants me to just shout out 2 guys when I spoke to him. First, the manager of this team, Atticus Gamache. He was cut, didn't make the team, but Coach Anderson loved him, and he told him, I don't want this to be the end of your soccer career. We have so many good players here. You can't be discouraged. So he says, I'm going to come back. I'm going to keep the book. I'm going to do everything the team needs me to do. And Coach Anderson says that he has just provided a real glue. You talk about those glue guys before, but a real glue to this group that has brought it all together. And he's continuing his soccer career outside of the Malverne East Rockaway team, but doing everything he can to help them on a daily basis as well. Called them an inexpendable resource on this program.
I love hearing stories like that. You know, too often we see guys that, you know, they either get cut, or I'm even looking down now at the Clarke bench. You know, I see the guys who are out there with the concussions, and, you know, not so much the concussions, the red card guys, and, you know, even the guys that are hurt, they just disappear. You know, it's you know, just stay around the team. Be with them.
And another guy for the Malverne team to shout out, Ayo Adonai is a 3-year varsity player. He was a starter last year, and he's had trouble getting minutes this season because of how loaded the team is. Another flaw of having so many great players, and Coach Anderson calls him the heart and soul of the team, says he means more to him than any player he's ever coached because he still just shows up and works and is a great teammate, even though he's lost minutes this year. Still a good player, just a casualty of a great roster. But again, heart and soul of the team. Everybody here loves him. The school district loves him, and he has just provided things that you can't get on the field. In the corner, there's a fight. Clarke comes up with it. Tries to send it towards Destine, but couldn't. He fights for it, takes some contact, gets a whistle.
And that is not good news here for Joseph Arning. That's his second yellow card. So now he's on a red, which means he's going to miss Malverne East Rockaway's next game. And Coach Anderson can't be too happy with him when they're sitting at a 4-1 lead, 4 minutes left in the game, with a big one on the horizon.
It's a tough loss for this team. I don't know if the coaching staff is totally aware of why he got the card. They're talking it out right now.
Yeah, Anderson can't be too happy right now. They got Elmont on Thursday. That's a game they're going to want to have Joseph Arning for. For him to have to now sit that next game because of the red, that is not a good prospect for him.
The clock runs down past 3:45 to go in this match. A 4-1 lead for Malverne. A few more whistles here. Some delegation is going on, it seems, with 3:20 to play. Alone for a moment was Jaden Mora. Now he takes the ball, and he shows you what he can do again. This kid's jaw-dropping on the ball. Unbelievable move. Mora with another chance and another finish. A hat trick for Jaden Mora. 5-1 the score. Malverne East Rockaway in front.
The Hattie from Mora, and he is absolutely cementing his place as player of the year, offensive player of the year. That was, a 50-yard run, danced through the whole team. That was a great move there at the end, slotting it past Arujo for the Malverne East Rockaway's 5th goal of the game here.
Something so impressive with Mora that the coaching staff completely alludes to is his ability to understand when it's his time and when it's his teammates' time. Because if I had that much talent in high school, I don't think my teammates would have touched the ball. So for him to be able to understand when he has to take over, when he has to be that hero on the field, but also a majority of the game where he has to spread the wealth because it's for the better of the team and for the better of himself, that's an impressive sign of maturity for a young player.
Absolutely. High IQ guy, knows what he's doing out there. If you're going to draft a team of players right now, it's hard to argue for him to not be in the first round.
As the sun begins to set here on Malverne High School, they look to escape this 5-1 game, maybe add to it. Here's Bay Ben. They've really just turned it up in this second half after a first half to forget. Good centering pass, but better defense for Clarke. Will knock it out. As a coach tomorrow, you sit down for that film. What's the split in emphasis on the first half versus the second half, and how serious are you about getting too excited about the 5-1 score where there were things to work on in that first half for Coach Rob Anderson?
I very clearly tell my team, hey, listen, guys, we haven't won anything yet. We were still an 0-15 team last year. It's great to celebrate the 5-1 win. It's great to celebrate the hat trick, but let's be very clear about something. We caught a red card, and there's goal number 6.
Good header on the finish was Bay Ben. He's got another.
Right, this is all well and good. We all did great, but the thing we have to understand is we did not play well in the first half. We have to fix these mistakes. If we want to get through, if we look at the rest of Conference AA or Class AA, we have to get through Calhoun. We have to get through Garden City, the Garden City Monster, which is the number 5 team in the country. We have to get through these guys if we want to do something in the county. So we have a lot of things we still need to clean up.
So your goal scorers for Malverne today, each with 1 is Bay Ben, Whitehouse, and Jeremiah Arning. And with 3, the hat trick for Jaden Mora, who's now up to 9 goals on the year in now 4 games for these Mules. And on the other side of things, opening the scoring today was Leon Gojufi for the Clarke Rams.
And if I am in a certain Garden City alumnus in college right now, who is the owner of the Nassau County goal scoring record, I might be paying attention to young Jaden Mora, because he might be knocking on the door right now of breaking that record the way he is on a pace.
Once again, 9 goals in 4 games now as the clock ticks down past 20 seconds in this second half. Clarke with some possession here.
Well, I will tell you, as the game winds down here, this Malverne East Rockaway team is as advertised. They put on quite a show here in the second half.
There is the whistle as the clock expires on a 6-1 home victory for Malverne East Rockaway against the Clarke Rams. All 6 goals coming in the final 30 minutes of this contest. And for the Rams, their lone goal came in the first half. It was the first goal of the entire match. So a really impressive one for Malverne East Rockaway. They overcome another deficit, pick up their 3rd win of the season, and the expectations from year to year haven't changed more drastically for any other program on the island.
Absolutely not. The Malverne East Rockaway Mules, they are riding high now. They are going into a game that they are expected to win on Thursday. Now you're going to be looking at a 4-win Malverne East Rockaway team in a rare position at the top of the table.
And for us at Varsity Media, this is not the end. Fall sports are just getting started. So while we appreciate you joining us tonight, make sure you don't miss Freeport versus Massapequa football on Friday night, and on Saturday at 3 p.m., Clarke is playing Southside in football. It's football season, it's soccer season, all the fall sports are underway right here on Varsity Media. You can find them at youtube.com/Varsity Media or head to the Varsity Media website. That'll do it for us today from Malverne High School. Once again, a 6-1 victory for the Mules over the Clarke Rams. For myself, Kevin Bunk, my partner, Brian Donahue, we thank you, and more importantly, we thank our executive producer, Ben Turkin, technical director, Chris Sweeney, the best in the business, and the camera operators, Tony Damaso and Mike Verde, getting all the right angles for us today. Once again, we thank you. We hope you enjoy the rest of the week, and we will see you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.